Nobody expected tonight to feel different, yet from the moment fans entered the arena, there was a strange hush under all the noise, like everyone sensed something life-changing was about to happen, even if they didn't know what. WWE is filled with surprises, but this one wasn't on anyone's radar. No leaks, no spoilers, no teasing video packages, nothing. And that's exactly why the whispers began spreading backstage hours before the show went live. Someone had arrived, someone no one had seen before. Yet somehow, everyone felt they knew her. Santino Marella's daughter. For years, she trained in silence, refusing interviews, staying out of the spotlight, focusing on her craft far away from cameras. People knew Santino had a daughter who loved wrestling, but they assumed her path would be comedy, just like her father's iconic career. But they were wrong, very wrong. Her arrival tonight wasn't funny, it wasn't lighthearted, it wasn't a gimmick. It was a shock. As she stepped inside the building for the first time, production crew members stopped what they were doing. Wrestlers paused conversations mid-sentence. A small group of agents huddled near the entrance, exchanging tense glances as if they had been warned that this debut might change storylines, rankings, even careers. And then word hit the fans outside. Santino Marella's daughter would be stepping into the ring. Tonight, crowds rushed to their seats, phones came out. People whispered predictions, fears, excitement, doubt. Nobody had seen her wrestle. Nobody knew her style. Nobody knew what she was carrying into that ring. But everyone could feel one thing. Tonight, something big was about to break. The moment the news spread backstage, the energy shifted. Some superstars welcomed the surprise, others didn't, and a few, especially those fighting for a spot in the women's division, felt something else entirely. Pressure. Because when a newcomer arrives with this much buzz, someone else's opportunity disappears. And tonight, that fear surfaced quickly. One veteran was seen pacing near the catering area, whispering to another superstar, frustration in her voice. Another was overheard asking why she didn't get an announcement like this. One rising star reportedly confronted a producer, demanding to know whether her upcoming storyline was getting replaced. The tension wasn't about Santino's daughter as a person. It was about her timing, her potential, her legacy. WWE rarely hides a debut, unless that debut has consequences. Santino arrived an hour later, keeping his head low, avoiding too many interactions. Normally, he jokes, laughs, entertains everyone around him. But tonight, he wasn't Santino the comedian. He was a father, a worried one. He kept checking his watch, kept glancing down the hall where his daughter was preparing for something she had been building toward her entire life. Even from a distance, people could see a quiet seriousness on his face, the expression of someone who knows how heavy legacy can feel. And the closer showtime came, the more the uneasiness spread. Producers held quiet meetings. Writers sprinted around with new instructions. A few agents looked stressed, almost nervous. Something about her debut wasn't just surprising, it was disruptive. Word began to spread. Her debut wasn't originally planned for tonight. Someone pushed it forward, hard, and suddenly, everyone wanted to know why. As she warmed up in a small, empty room backstage, Santino's daughter moved with a calmness that didn't match the chaos around her. Slow stretches, deep breaths, steady focus. She didn't look excited. She didn't look scared. She looked prepared. Like this moment had lived in her mind for years. But behind that composure lingered a shadow. The shadow of being someone's child in WWE. Fans expect greatness. The locker room expects perfection. The company expects a headline. Children of legends either rise or crumble. Santino hesitated before entering the room. He watched her silently for a moment, torn between pride and fear. He knew better than anyone how unpredictable WWE could be. One mistake, one awkward moment, one unexpected reaction from fans, and her entire path could change forever. He finally stepped in. Their conversation remained private, but witnesses said the emotion was unmistakable. A father giving final advice, a daughter reassuring him she was ready, a legacy being passed with no spotlight, no cameras, no jokes, only honesty. Outside that door, other wrestlers paused to listen. Some expected the funny Marella tone. Instead, they heard something else, quiet, intense, heartfelt words. And for some reason, that made the tension thicker. Because this debut wasn't about entertainment, it was about identity. Who would she be? Would she embrace her father's comedic legacy? Or break away from it entirely? Would fans accept her? Would the division welcome her? Would WWE push her to fast, or not fast enough? Every debut carries pressure. But this one carried a story fans didn't know yet. One built on family expectations, and the weight of escaping them. When the lights dimmed and the opening notes of a brand new entrance theme hit the arena, the crowd froze. No Titantron packages. No long introductions. Just a silhouette walking through slow, glowing light. At first, fans weren't sure who it was. Then the name flashed across the screen. A wave of noise exploded through the arena. Cheers mixed with stunned gasps. People jumped out of their seats. Some covered their mouths. A few longtime fans felt old emotions rise, remembering Santino's most iconic moments. But this wasn't nostalgia, this was curiosity. She walked to the ring with calm steps, her expression steady, her posture unshaken. She didn't mimic her father. She didn't perform comedy. She carried herself like someone determined to be seen for who she really was, not who people assumed she would become. Camera shots revealed the crowd's reactions. Fans recording, fans shouting, fans debating instantly. Fans predicting her future even before she touched the ropes. But backstage, things were different. A cluster of wrestlers stood around a monitor, arms crossed, eyes narrowed, whispering among themselves. Some looked impressed, others looked threatened. A few looked openly frustrated, as if they knew the women's division had just shifted. Santino stood alone near the curtain, his emotions almost visible, a trembling mix of pride, fear, relief, and something deeper. Something that comes from watching your child step into the exact world that once shaped you, for better and for worse. Her opponent entered. The crowd roared again. But tonight wasn't about the match. It was about the moment. A moment that made the entire arena feel like they were witnessing the start of something bigger than a debut. Something that could grow into a legacy of its own. When the final bell rang, the arena didn't erupt, it held its breath. Not because of the result, but because of the feeling this debut left behind. Fans sensed something powerful, something raw, something unfinished. As she stood in the ring, chest rising slowly, eyes scanning the crowd, the entire moment felt strangely quiet, not silent, but thoughtful. Like everyone was processing what they had just seen. There was no comedy, no impression of her father, no playful wink or silly gesture, just a young woman making her own beginning. On her own terms. Backstage, reactions were even more intense. Some wrestlers applauded privately. Some walked away without speaking. One superstar stormed out of the gorilla position, visibly upset. Producers were already debating next steps. Creative teams were reworking plans. Comments were pouring in online faster than anyone could track. The debut had done exactly what WWE feared and hoped. It shook the division. Santino waited for her outside the hallway, his expression heavy with emotion. When she approached him, there wasn't celebration. There was something quieter, a look of mutual understanding. The journey had started, and it wouldn't be easy. But that was the point. As she walked toward the locker room, cameras caught one last moment. A small smile, not a confident one, but a knowing one. A smile that hinted she had felt the pressure, the expectations, the eyes of the world, and she was ready for whatever came next. And then came the twist. A rumor began spreading instantly. Her debut tonight wasn't the original plan. It was a test, and by the end of the night, whispers backstage suggested only one thing. She didn't just pass the test. She changed everything.